Hello everyone, in this video I want to kind of briefly go over how I help my clients compare Medicare Advantage plans. Now this isn't how, I guess you could say that the industry compliant way is to do it, but it is something that you have to think about when you're asking your clients how to evaluate plans. The first thing, and this is like I guess you could call it the major thing that I talk about, is that all Medicare Advantage plans are supposed to cover the Medicare Part A and B services in its entirety. Therefore, services-wise, Medicare Advantage plans are not allowed to not cover, by default, any services that are required by Medicare Part A and B under the medically necessary headline. Now, the major difference is that when you have a Medicare Advantage plan, the Medicare Advantage plan determines whether or not it is medically necessary and the approved treatment program or diagnostic procedures that their members go through. This can help in making costs go down for both patients and for plan. And also, what it does is it kind of limits what the plan feels is unnecessary treatment or costs that would be burdened by both the plan and the member. Now, this can be problematic or it can be, good depending on, what your beliefs are. But as far as those things go, you cannot really know which plan is going to improve your service until the time comes. So always, when you're on a Medicare Advantage plan, make sure you are pretty on top of what your medical things, on top of your doctor, and then you and your doctor work together in order to, figure out what your plan is going to pay for and how you're going to go about this medical treatment. Right? That's kind of a given. So all Medicare Advantage plans are pretty much the same in that light. There is also another kind of quality metric, as I like to say, and that is customer service. So there are certain Medicare Advantage companies that have really poor customer service, unfortunately, and there's some that have really good customer service. Now, the way I like to think about it is that whenever you are on a call with a consumer, 1-800 number person, you really understand what you want this person to do based on what your desired outcome is. I talked about this before, but just coaching your client, if you want a bill to be paid, make sure you have all the information in regards to your bill that was denied or that wasn't paid by the insurance company, and make sure you get a case number, and make sure you have that consumer representative who's on the phone, or member services person who's on the phone, and you get them to create a case, and you get them to figure out, or at least push through, the billing, right? Not, this was denied because that, hang up, gets you nowhere. If you believe that your bill it should be covered by your insurance plan, you need to make sure that that is conveyed over the phone. The agent can't do that for you. And as many agents who are watching this know, it is painfully true that as agents we have no say, no power, and actually no access to any of the patient's billing inquiries or information. So it has to be done by the client. So as long as the client has good kind of record keeping and organizational skills, this will take care of itself. And if they don't, it'll take care of itself that way. And regardless of the plan they join, it's pretty much going to be a non-decision factor. You don't really care about it. So we got that all the way. All the Medicare Advantage plans cover the same services, and the companies, while they do have a customer service they could have bad customer service or good customer service, it's not really going to make that huge of a difference. And the way I do it is I will tell people that I don't like to work with XYZ company because they give me a hard time, and clients have told me they have a hard time. Right? I'm not speaking ill goodwill against the plan itself might be amazing, might have great benefits. But from what others tell me in my personal experience in calling into their customer service line, I get dropped calls and blah, blah, blah. This is from experience. I have no idea if other people have the same or different whatevers, but for me, that's my experience. I'm going to say that because it's my experience. It's true. It's not a lie. Can be substantiated? Probably not, because, I mean, who's going to... I guess they could pull out all my recorded calls and find out that no one answers, and when the answers sometimes get hung up on. But, you know, I'm going to disclose that, because if my client's like, wow, man, this customer service is terrible, I'll be like, yeah, you know, same here. They're like, why didn't you tell me that? Oh, I couldn't. Non-compliant. Come on now. Okay, so those two things out of the way. The next way to compare plans is basically the part that we actually can compare, which is the metrics, the quantitative aspects of the plan. Now, the quantitative aspects of the plan are things like cost, drug coverage, provider networks. Those are the quantitative things that we can actually objectively quantify and match. So what I always say is, I need a list of your doctors and a list of your medications, so we can find the plan that saves you the most money and has all your doctors in it. Once you get to this point, and it really is going to depend on the variance of the plans that are available in your specific county. But at this point, you're probably narrowed it down to a few. And for me, I like to stick with some major carriers. I don't like signing up people for like this new no star rated plan that's only been in existence in 1 year, or maybe the stars are like less than 2, less than 3 perhaps. I don't touch those usually, because customer service, again, not so good. Probably small, probably not able to get my call within the first 10 minutes. I don't want to be on hold for forever. I don't want my clients to be on hold for forever. So that makes it relatively simple, right? Then you look at to see kind of what they say is important to them. That's the hard part. How do you know what's going to be important? Like, I had to call my client yesterday, and she's like, man, I'm getting old, you know? And every day you get a day older. And I'm concerned about not having enough coverage where it matters. So you then take a look at the plans and see if potentially paying a premium per month will make a material difference in the amount that they pay for more expensive services. And you can go by quantifying the more expensive services. Typically, it's going to be like inpatient hospitalization, outpatient services like outpatient surgery, maybe physical therapy, and sometimes emergency room observation. Some plans have a cap on that. Some plans have a 20% co-insurance on that. Those are the major expenses. Also, if they see a lot of doctors, a lot of specialists, if the specialist copay goes down from like, $50 to like $25 if they have a premium plan, and they see the specialist more than like twice a month, then that might be a place where you can say, hey, you're going to save money here, and because you go to the doctors more often, you're more likely to be, more likely to get procedures. Perhaps you're more likely also to need more therapies, whether it be occupation therapy or physical therapy, depending on, their illness. And that's where you're going to have to provide the value and say, okay, metrically, these are the things that are going to save you money. And then you can come out the other end with a plan. Remember how I said we have our job as consultants is we construct and sell plans. We don't construct and sell really the insurance product itself. The insurance product itself becomes an anchor to your plan, but ultimately it is the plan that we consultants build for our clients, right? We have to have some sort of a actionable plan in a just-in-case scenario. That's what insurance is. Insurance is like a just-in-case something happens, you have insurance. It's the definition. So that's how I would compare plans for my probably a few videos where I talk about it. It might be hard to find because of the way that I title these things, because it's easier for YouTube to show these to people if they type in a question and they get, rather than get like a how does Matt, help his clients during AAP kind of a thing. I think I have a video on how to help your clients during AAP. Watch that one for more details on how I actually do that. But what I do and how the best way to compare plans during AAP is right there. Knock off the qualitative, because that part is going to be obviously biased because you can't metrically measure those things, whether or not prior authorizations are going to be approved or authorized. Customer service stuff, you just have to make sure the client has all their stuff together, and you have to make sure that you know what the client needs to get together so that they can get prior authorizations or get billing things resolved, right? You might have to work with the billing department in the doctor's office. You might have to have the patient talk to the billing department in their doctor's office. But it's a more process driven than this company does it better than this company driven metric, because we all know insurance, health insurance, your patients or your members have used their health insurance before. They know that sometimes it goes great, sometimes it goes piss poor, and you can't find a company that's going to fix everything. The only way to do that is for your client to jump from Medicare Advantage to Medicare Supplement, where Part A and B will basically anchor all their coverages, and they have to buy a Medicare Supplement plan, so that's a more expensive route. But that's off the table, because during AEP, if you're comparing Medicare Advantage plans apples to apples, they're all the same, relatively speaking, mainly because there's no objective, quantitative way to compare them currently. There may be, who knows, in the future, but right now, there isn't anything. So that's all I have to say for that. Everyone have a great weekend. Enjoy. This is coming up right around the corner. AAP's information for all the plans are probably already out. You probably can get a good look. Evaluate the plans that most of your clients currently have, and make sure that whatever plan that they're getting into next year suits their current future needs, and do good things. See you in the next video.